Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto and welcome here to another video and another photo walk here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Today I'm walking with my Ricoh GR3X and I set a small challenge for myself. I left the memory card out of the camera because this Ricoh has one unique feature, a feature that should be standard in every camera. There's a little bit of internal memory that can store up to 40 raw pictures. So that's my maximum number of pictures today. Okay, I'm gonna take my first picture. I like these two cars and the building in the background and the red stop sign in the middle. The overall scene is very like white, grayscale almost, and then there's the red sign in the middle. That's the first picture done. I'm using the touch AF feature or function on my GR. Whatever I touch on the screen, the camera will focus there, and I like that feature. I don't like the touch feature that triggers the shutter when I touch. I just like the camera to focus wherever I touch on the screen. It was probably not such a good idea to come out right after high noon, because here in the tropics it gets really super hot and sweaty in the afternoon. But I knew it and it was my choice, and now I suffer. Another umbrella coming. Let's see how this comes out. In the previous picture I could have done better if I just had sprayed and prayed a little bit, but I want to save my frames. Yeah, the fact is that whenever there is some action happening in front of your camera, in most cases you really need to take more than one shot, maybe at least 2 or 3 different shots or frames. But today I'm just trying to save my frames because I only have 40. All right, let's take one traffic sign. Oh, in this case it was so hard to see the screen because I had to keep the camera or lift the camera quite high up, and a tilt screen would have been really nice in this case. Here's an interesting urban detail. Let's capture that. There's the afternoon prayers going on in the nearby mosque, and that's where the singing or whatever it's called is coming. Oh, this is even more interesting looking. Shooting through the scaffolding and focusing on the building behind. Let's see how this comes out. Yes. Okay, let's put these low-end apartments in the foreground and the high-end apartments in the background to get some contrast, like so. This really is a bit of a challenge. It seems that once I see a decent or interesting composition, right after that I see something that is more interesting, like a version of the first picture, but I don't want to waste any more frames, and that's why I just stick with the first version. But I think in general, I think it's a good idea to explore your scene a little bit more and maybe take I don't know, 3, 4, 5 frames with a slightly different composition, or from a slightly different distance or whatever. I think the way I'm shooting today, I'm not getting the best possible shots. Okay, the Meneka 118 building, the second tallest building in the world. Looks kind of interesting behind those lower high-rise buildings. Let's take one picture of that. Okay, let's take another view of the Merdeka 118 building because it just looks so awesome behind those other buildings, like so. Okay, how about that empty or closed food stand? It's active during the lunchtime every day, but today it's Friday. It's closed anyway on Fridays, and it's not the lunchtime anymore, but it still looks interesting enough. Let's take one picture of that. And there's another empty lunch restaurant, or closed, today closed lunch restaurant on the other side of the street. Let's take a picture of that. I haven't done a challenge like this with a digital camera before, at least I can't remember. And it seems to me that I should have maybe concentrated, or in the future if I do something similar, I should concentrate more on one particular scene and maybe sacrifice 3 or 4 frames and fine-tune the composition. Because now I've been only mostly taking one picture of each scene, and at least in my case the first frame is not always the best. But if I can use maybe 3-4 frames and fine-tune my composition after the first one, I usually get better results and my keeper rate goes up just a little bit at least. And I'd like to know how it is with you. Can you nail the shot in one picture, or do you need more than one frames to kind of fine-tune the composition and framing to get the best out of the scene? The slow and unreliable autofocus is one of the complaints that I hear often regarding the GR. But I keep saying that it always delivers for me, always get the sharpest results. But as it happens, just 3 minutes ago, the autofocus failed me and I missed quite an interesting looking street photo. So even the best can fail sometimes. I now have 26 frames on my camera's internal memory, and I think I'm gonna call it a day because it's getting so hot. I'm sweating like a pig at the moment, and I think 26 pictures is plenty enough, and it was something that I had in mind when I started until I realized that the camera can actually store up to 40 pictures. It's been a really interesting challenge, and I have to take or redo this one day with another camera maybe. Of course, I don't need, or if you want to do something similar, you don't need the GR for it. You just limit the frames in your mind, put a memory card in your camera and limit the frames in your mind to whatever, 24, 36 or whatever number. But yes, it's been really interesting, and thank you so much for joining in and watching, and what else? If you found this interesting or entertaining, please do consider buying me a cup of coffee. There's a link down below if you don't live in Finland. Thanks, and I'll definitely see you in the next video.